Hey there people of the internet, my name is Sivana and welcome to my studio. Today's video is on the Rivals of the Minichi region, which are based on myself and Victor, and were made back when this was still a Fakemon project, but I tweaked them a little bit at the end. For more info on the Minichi project, be sure to check out my last video on the map, and take a look at my playlist if you haven't already to see all the creatures I've designed so far. Now let's just get into the drawing. So to start off, I have these base pose sketches before I start filling in the details. I knew Victor would be in a zip-up hoodie and basketball shorts, because that's like his whole aesthetic, and I knew I would draw myself in some kind of sweater and sweatpants because that's almost exclusively what I exist in. I gave myself a little crop top sweater over a black shirt because I like it and I actually have one. As I said in the map video, I based all the gym leader type characters on people I know, including myself and Victor, again, but with different names, aesthetics, and slightly different personalities. So these two characters here, Sav and Vic, will have nothing to do with the other characters based on us. I was going to make these the two player characters you could choose between, but I quickly decided to go in a different direction for the player, which I'll explain a little bit later. The sketch was really easy because I was basically just drawing a near one-to-one caricature of Victor and myself, and just gave us cool clothes. I did this like wave thing on Sav's pants and wanted them to look somewhat similar, so I added the wave to Vic's jacket. I eventually used similar colors, of course I will be in green and pink, and I tried to get red and gold on Victor, but opted to use the same kind of green instead of red, which I do change in post to be more red and like a scarlet red and gold with blackish gray because those are like his favorite colors. Time for some plot. I want to start the game with you, the player character, the protagonist, getting a video call type interview from the professor, who will have her own video. She congratulates you on graduating Tamer school and thanks you for your interest in doing your internship with her. So you're going to be late teens kind of age, and during this interview at the very beginning of the game, you will put in your name, preferred pronouns, and begin creating your character for your official Tamer ID card. And I love character creation, so there's going to be a good amount of options and customization. After all that is done, the professor will ask you to come to her lab to receive your very first familiar to begin your journey with, where she will then explain your internship in further detail. So yeah, you're at home, you talk to your parents, then you go to the neighboring town, where you meet up with Sav and Vic. They are your very good friends and are also going to be doing their internship with the professor alongside you. I like the idea of multiple rivals, kind of like they did in Gen 5 with Pokemon Black and White, and I also really like how they do it in Monster Sanctuary, where you see them throughout the game, but they're not annoying. They will teach you a bit about the type chart in the tutorial battles with them and provide a fun challenge throughout the story. I originally wanted to have two-ish versions of the game, like how Pokemon does, and was really inspired by Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald in particular. One was going to be Blizzard, and the other was Inferno, and which version you chose changed how the story played out, which antagonist faction you dealt with, and also which starters your rivals chose. For example, if you chose Blizzard, you would be dealing more with Team Frost of the Frostbloom Foundation, and the end boss would be the box legendary Wendigost. Additionally, I really like Winter and Snow, so Sav would be your main rival in this version, meaning she would take the starter with the type advantage against yours. And so then in Inferno, it would be the reverse. You would be dealing more with Team Forge of Forge Industries, and the end boss is a creature that I will not reveal yet. And Vic would be your main rival because Victor likes fire. Then I wanted a sequel like Emerald, kind of, which would be called Evergreen, with Zazedo as the box legendary. But this would be more of a post-game than a whole other game. So I have decided that these three versions are going to be kind of like chapters or acts. You can choose either Blizzard or Inferno to do first as your chapter/act 1, and then the other one would be act 2, and Evergreen would be act 3, which is locked until you complete the first two. I don't exactly know how I'm going to do that yet, but that's what I want. I also wanted the logo that I made to reflect all of this. So in the name Minichi, there is both a fiery sun-like symbol, then the colors shift being green and leafy in the middle, before transitioning to this icicle shape. And then when these two symbols combine, they have green trees in the middle, which is also kind of looks like a little person. This game is all about the environment and the climate, and how people affect it and it affects us. So yeah, that's what I got for that. There's not really a whole lot to say about the coloring. I don't do anything too different from my usual coloring style, but I will say that I am super proud of Victor's hair, because I struggle with curly hair in general, but I think I captured the texture of his hair pretty well. Also, I wasn't sure which color to make his eyes, because sometimes they're like a bright green, and sometimes they're kind of blue with like gold flecks in the middle, so I just went with teal. I struggled on my character's hair too because I was just indecisive about the style. It's definitely not like a replica of how my hair actually looks, especially not now because it's green and weird, but I went with this half ponytail look because I feel super cute anytime I put my hair like that. It also just gives the illusion that my hair is longer. I am really happy with the depth on the clothes, especially the pants. They look like they could be 3D, and I don't know, there's just something really satisfying about the way I did it. Like, as an artist, it's really cool when after you finish a piece, you're like, dang, that looks good. I'm also going to learn how to make pixel art, so pixel sprites for the game, so it'll be kind of like a 2.5D. I've been playing Pal World, and it's just everything I want. I'm obsessed with it, and like that's the kind of open world that I want to make, but with pixel sprites. Somehow. And of course I'll make videos about when I do that, but I think I have a lot to learn before I can start making like speed art videos of pixeling. I don't know the terminology. I have so many other characters planned for Minichi, as well as a video on the player character. So I talked a little bit about the player character, how in the beginning you choose your name and your pronouns, and then you create what your character looks like. So I really wanted this to be an all-inclusive kind of game, where anybody can make anyone they want. If they want to make an actual like replica of themselves, I want there to be enough options for that. So you kind of start out as a blank slate. There are going to be 3 body types: feminine, masculine, and androgynous or non-binary. I have a few non-binary friends and a few trans friends. I'm part of the LGBTQIA community as well, so representation is important, and I want everyone to have access to this and feel like they belong and they are accepted. And then I came back to this drawing to change the Pokeball, because it's no longer a Fakemon project, so I can't use that. The capture balls are going to be called capsules, and I wanted them to look like these little magic floating ball toys, but for simplicity they're just going to look like little ringed planets in their dormant form. But when they're used, so when they're thrown out either to capture a Phazoan or to throw out your familiar, they're going to spin and light up like the toy. I also wanted to add a few harder shadows to the line work, because I've been doing that with my people lately, and I really like it. Oh, and I fixed Victor's hand because it was just kind of too small compared to the other one, and it kept bothering me. Like I said, I have a bunch of these characters planned for, all of the gym leader types, the professors, other NPCs from the enemy factions, so stay tuned for even more of my rambling about this fake universe I've created. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these caricatures of Victor and myself, as well as more rambling about my game ideas. This whole project has been consuming my mind, so expect more in the future. Anyway, be sure to give this video a like, leave a comment telling me your thoughts on all of this, subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already, and as always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.